Welcome back, everyone, to the conclusion of our study for this week in Ecclesiastes 3:11. Let's apply what we learned this week to ourselves, which is always what we need to do with Scripture. We should not just leave it on the page. We need to bring it home with us, right? We need to take it home, apply it to our lives. Let me give you an illustration. Life is like a house under construction, right? There might be scaffolding, it's chaos, there's all kinds of stuff, but really what's happening is that the master builder, the architect, the contractor, those who are in charge of the building, right, and all the parts and all that kind of stuff, it may look like a mess in the middle, and there's stuff everywhere, there's tools and everything else, but in the end, the complete structure is beautiful. And so we might be looking at our lives like that. We might see all this trash everywhere, the dumpsters sitting out front, there's tools everywhere, there's a bunch of weird looking guys everywhere. And it's like, what is going on here? And you're looking at it, might be a complete chaos. One room there's studs, some has drywall, and there's electrical cords hanging here and there, and you can see all the plumbing in this one room over here in the bathroom. And you're like, man, this is chaos. This is not beautiful. This is just a bunch of weird parts everywhere. But you come back, in a couple months and like, whoa, there's a house, it's painted, it's beautiful, shiny and new. And so it depends on when you peer into what's going on, if it's beautiful or not. And that's kind of how our lives are too. If you look at one part of our life and be like, wow, that's complete chaos, it looks horrible, this is not good. And then you might look at a different part like, wow, this is beautiful. Look what God has done with this person. Look what he's doing with this person. And so we see that difference there. And this, we should. We often use, people often use the idea of a tapestry too. You ever look at a tapestry that's woven, look at the back of a tapestry, it looks like a bunch of weird, strings hanging everywhere. It looks chaotic, but if you flip it over on the other side, there's the picture that was made by all these different little strings. And so it depends on which side you look at, too. If you're looking at one side, yeah, it looks like junk. It looks like, a 3-year-old did it. And then you turn over and like, oh, wow, this is a magnificent picture. It's almost like a painting that someone used string to create. It's pretty amazing. So that's the idea. When you look at one part of our lives, it might look like trash, and the other part looks great. It depends on what you're looking at. Number 2 is that we need to surrender discontent, just trust God's timing, and we need to cultivate gratitude. So let the awareness of eternity in your heart that God has put there to propel you towards worship of Him, to remain in awe of Him, and to have hope. Hope because God has put eternity in your heart, and that's where you're going. Number 3, Deuteronomy 32:4 says, the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are justice, a God of faithfulness, and without iniquity, just and upright is he. So let that truth anchor your heart as you await the full beauty of God's providence. So that's our study for this week. We have gone through Ecclesiastes 3:11, and so yeah, that was great. And that's the end of our study for this week. So I'll see you next time.